I'm Ron B from Philly, and I got something to say about Snowballs and Santa Claus. I'm Ron B from Philly, and I got something to say about the Snowballs and Santa Claus. You know, every time something bad happens in Philly, eventually we get around to, yeah, and they threw snowballs at Santa Claus. Well, I bet you don't even know what happened with the snowballs and Santa Claus. And so I'm going to give you a little bit of history, and then I'm going to tell you why it's important today. The year was 1968. It was the end of the season. It was December. It was snow, very big snowstorm, and Franklin Field was full of snow. And of course, they couldn't remove it all by the time the game was going. The Eagles were 2-11. They were calling for the head of the coach. They weren't very happy. There was only one little small bright spot. If the Eagles lost the game that they were playing, they would have been able to get O.J. Simpson. Yes, the juice. Can you imagine if the Eagles had O.J. Simpson in his prime? Well, guess what? The Eagles was winning the game. So, by halftime, people were a little bit high, a little bit angry, and here comes this guy wearing a Santa Claus uniform, Merry Christmas, and everything. And of course, they threw snowballs at him. Slowly but surely, they threw snowballs at him, and by the time it was over, halftime, he was covered with snow, and then he goes off the field. First of all, it wasn't even a big deal. In the papers, I've looked it up. They didn't even really mention it. The problem was, on the evening news, Howard Cosell of Monday Night Football fame, this was before he was on Monday Night Football, brought it to the attention of the nation. They didn't even talk about the game. They didn't talk about anything but them throwing them snowballs at Santa Claus and how bad we were as people. And from here on in, every football season, for 53 years, I've heard about these snowballs with Santa Claus. I was born in 69, so I wasn't even here when it happened. Most people nowadays weren't here when it happened. But the news media, football season, people who don't know nothing about it always bring up, and you know they threw snowballs at Santa Claus. So why do you think I'm bringing this up now? We just had another football season that didn't go the way we planned. A lot of finger pointing. Coaches got fired. Quarterbacks got benched. People are upset. But, no one threw anything at anybody. I think that, again, the reason why I'm doing this podcast is so people can understand people from Philadelphia are not barbarians. Yes, something happened 53 years ago. But for no reason should we be reliving that every single year whenever anything goes bad. Now you know what happened with the snowballs and Santa Claus. The man who got the snowballs thrown at him became a local legend. He just died maybe a couple of years ago, and he was happy. He didn't, kill himself or anything. His family is not disgraced. They continue to live in Philadelphia. The only thing left remnant of that situation is Franklin Field on the University of Penn campus, where the Eagles used to play, is still standing. But that reputation is also still standing. So, in the end, I just want you to know that when you hear that they threw snowballs at Santa Claus, that was people 53 years ago. I'm sure you guys do not want to be held accountable for what people did 53 years ago today. That's Ron B from Philly, and that's what I got to say.